I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We're continuing to look at combinations of notes and rests as we look at page 17 of Grade 1 Discovering Music Theory. And as we move on to exercise 7, we are asked to number the beats. So we've got a couple of things to do. First job is to number the beats and then complete the time signature for the melody. And so we're going to have to count rests as well as notes because the bar all adds up, including everything. And so let's just work out how many beats we've got in this bar first of all. So we have a crotchet, which is 1 beat. Now this is a quaver rest, which is worth a half. And we have a quaver note, which is worth a half. And so both of those together give us the next beat. And then here we can see that everything's beamed correctly to give us the next beat because we've got 2 quarters, which give us a half. And then we have a half of a beat here with this quaver. So 2 semiquavers and a quaver. And again, if I just diagram that out, you can see 2 quarters and a half gives us a whole beat, and then there's our final crotchet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the beaming has shown all of this beat together, but beat 2 here starts on the rest. Here's beat 1. Oh, I suppose let's say we've done the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's finish that bit. There we go. So 4 beats per bar. So here is beat 1. That's the end of beat 1. This is the start of beat 2 on the rest. We'll tap this out in a second so you can see how this rest affects the music. That's the second half of beat 2. Here's beat 3, beamed all together. And then here is beat 4. So if we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 1, and 3 and a 4. Sorry, 3 and a 4. Let's do that again. 1 and 3 and a 4. There we go. So you can see the silence. 1, nothing on the first part of beat 2, and then the second half of beat 2 has a quaver. Let's look at this next bar. So we have a crotchet beat here, and then we have a crotchet beat rest. That's 1 beat rest, same amount of time as this, but in silence. So we have 2 beats in that bar. Nice short little bar there. There's beat 1, and beat 2 is complete silence. So we've got beat 1, silence. So maybe try the next couple of exercises, C and D, on your own. And then we'll check through them together. Always better to try. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. You can always just erase it and have another go. And so let's see what's going on here. So we have a rest that's just sitting on the line. That's a 2 beat rest. That's a minim rest. We then have 4 quarter beats, 4 semiquavers, which we know gives us a beat. That's 1 crotchet beat's worth, all beamed together to show us that crotchet beat. And there's the beat. So we've got 1, 2 plus 2 gives us 4. And then let's just show where these beat fall. So there's beat 1. And then beat 2 is also silence because that silence continues all the way to the start of beat 3. That's the remainder of beat 3. There is beat 4. And so it looks a bit disproportionate just because of this big gap, but you know there's a lot of notes they've got to fit in, a lot of blobs there, so you can just see they've had to leave a bit of a space. So you've got to show that in your writing. Let's count the beats in this bar. So we've got half a beat plus a half a beat. Half plus half gives us 1. And then a quarter plus a quarter gives us a half. And then there's the remaining half. Again, if you're not sure, you can diagram that out. So you see a quarter, a half, and then there's a beat. So we have 1, 2, 3 beats. 3 crotchet beats. Remember, bottom number 4 always refers to crotchet beats. And so we can see there's the first part of beat 1. That's the remaining half of beat 1. There's the start of beat 2. And then here beat 3 starts with, and it's all silence. Now then, let's move on to exercise 8. It's all the same information. However, now we've got the time signature intact, but there's some timing missing here, and whatever is missing, we need to make up the timing of each bar to match the time signature by adding just one rest, not combinations, just one rest that will complete the bar. So if you remember, this is common time, which is 4/4, 4 crotchet beats per bar. So let's see what we've got so far. We've got 1 crotchet beat here. We've got half a beat here. And then these 2, half plus a half, gives us another beat. There's a beat. So we have 1, 2, 3 and a half. We are half a beat missing. And so we need to put a rest worth half a beat, a quaver rest, half a beat, looks like that. And now that bar is complete. So maybe have a go at the rest of these exercises and then we can check them through together. So exercise B, we just need 2 beats per bar. We've got 2 quavers beamed together, half plus a half gives us 1 beat. We've got a half a beat here and we've got a quarter of a beat here. And so you can see that beat is incomplete because we've got a half of a beat and a quarter of a beat. We've only got 3/4 of a beat. We're a quarter of a beat missing. And so a quarter of a beat in rest form is a semiquaver rest, which looks like that. So I hope that's what you've got there. If not, it's okay. Just follow it through, erase and have another go. Best way to learn. And so let's move on. We need 4 crotchet beats per bar. A half plus a half is 1. There's another one. We've got 2. We are 2 beats missing. Now remember, it says we're only to add 1 rest. And so we need a minim rest to complete that bar. Remember, a 2 beat rest just sits on the middle line. So 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So here a half plus a half is 1. We know that 4 quarters add up to 1. There's 1. There's a half. We've got 1, 2, 3 and a half. We should have 4 beats. We're half a beat missing. And that would be our quaver rest. The final bar, we have 1, 2, 3 beats. We should have 4. And so we're a beat missing. And so here's our opportunity to practice our crotchet rest. A bit wiggly, but there we go. Let's move on to exercise D. We should have 3 beats per bar. We've got 1 beat there. Let's do the obvious ones first. We've got 1 beat there. We've got 1 beat there. Now here's where we're going to be incomplete. We've got 1, 2, 3 notes worth a quarter of a beat each. 3 semiquavers. So we've only got 3 quarters. We need a quarter of a beat to complete that. And so that's our semiquaver rest. Carrying on, remember we're adding to 3. We have 1 beat here. We can see they are beamed together. Half plus a half gives us 1. Here's a half. We have 1, 2 and a half. We should have 3. We're half a beat missing. There's our quaver rest worth half of a beat. And finally, we have 1 beat, we have 1 beat. We should have 3, we've only got 2, we're 1 beat short, and that's our crotchet rest again. And then finally, we should be adding to 2 beats per bar. Half plus half is 1. We've got half a beat, so we've got 1 and a half, we should have 2, we're half a beat missing. There's our quaver rest. Now then, we have our second bar, we've only got 1 beat, we should have 2, and so we're going to have to do another crochet rest. 1 plus 1 is 2, there's 1 beat silence. Now here, this bar, this is a slightly tricky catch here, because we should have 2 beats, so we're looking to fill 2 beats, so you would be excused for adding a minim rest. However, be aware that there's a very shorthand rule where no matter what the time signature, whether it's too big or anything, a semi-breve rest is just a quick way of saying complete silence. So although that rest is too big for that time signature, a semi-breve rest also means a complete bar silence irrelevant of the time signature. So just watch out for that. 1 pair of glasses, watch out. Let's press on. Finally, at the end of this section here on page 17, we have a challenge. So we have exercises A and B here, but this time we're asked to add a note. I guess it can be any note instead of a rest in the gaps, and then we need to make sure that everything's positioned correctly and quavers and semiquavers are beamed appropriately. So we're going to copy out everything, but we're going to now add a note. So let's just write what we've got so far, and then we'll decide upon the note. So we have to have everything in place, so we need our common time signature. Then we have a note G. I'm just going to do the note heads. Then we've got the gap. Then we've got another note G. Then they go up in step. And then we finish with note C. And then, oh, get my ruler. The ruler's wandered off. We need our bar line as well. In fact, it's a double bar line. So let's have that. So everything's in place. Now the stems are all going to have to follow suit. And so I'm just going to decide, I'm going to do another note G here, because we're not composing wonders, we're just filling the space. So we need stems, and all of the stems are about the same length. So as the note heads go up, the stems are sort of shadowing that. But remember, past the middle line, just copying what's there, the stem comes down, because that's the line where everything changes direction. Now, this is a crotchet that stays as it is. This was, if we go back, a quaver rest. So it's going to become a quaver note and a quaver note. So we're going to have to beam those. It would be tail, tail, but we can join those together. We can beam those instead of having individual tails. And then these are quavers, and because the stems are going up slightly diagonally, you can see that the beam is going to be slightly diagonal to just reflect the pitch going upwards. So there's quite a lot involved even in just copying that little bit. It's good practice. And so exercise B, we're now going to copy this and we're going to replace this note here. So I'm just going to map everything out first, just get all the nuts and bolts in place. So we want our time signature, which is 2/4. So our first notes are this second space, we're in bass clef, that's C, D, E. Whatever our mystery note is, we can decide, and then we've got a G. That's a bit far away perhaps, but never mind. So let's just bring that in a bit. I sort of got a bit carried away. I think these are perhaps a bit squished, it'd be okay. So here, everything's going up in step, so why not carry that on? I'm just going to carry on in step here. Just going space, line, space, line, space, just next door notes. So the first two notes in our original, we're just copying those. We've got stems going up, and we can beam those. Two quavers beamed together. So stem, stem, and then I'll just beam those to show. Now here, we're going to have quaver, semi, semi. So I'm going to just do the outside notes first of all, just to keep it neat and tidy. So I've got the general direction of where I'm going. And now this one can join the group. However, this is a quaver, these are semiquavers, so that's only one beam. This is going to need two. So I need to just do the extra beam there to show that they are semiquavers. And then we finish off. We're not quite finished till the double bar line's in place. And there we go. That's nicely completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. And for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.